Hello, everybody. Hello. How you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. I am doing well. I'm having a great time. Doing all right. Just sharing. Y'all know how we do in the beginning. Just sharing. So I hope as you guys come in that you will share as well. Yeah, just sharing. That's what we do over here. Y'all, we just part of this. I hope you will be part of the share ambassadors and share team over here. Hey, Milton, how are you? So good to see you. Thank you, Milton. Yeah, so good to see you. Trying to type and think at the same time. So good to see you. Glad to be seen. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I just appreciate you so much. Of course, you know that. You know that. I'm just sharing, y'all. Be a part of the share team and share, share, share. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Please share. Thank you so much. All right. So, got just a few more places to share. And, honey, we are about to get this party started. I hope you guys are having a great day and all is well wherever you are. Yeah, I've had a peaceful, pretty much peaceful day. It's been good. And you know what? I'm almost done sharing because I got help. Thank you to Milton for helping me share. I do appreciate you, sir, so much. Really does help me out to have somebody else helping and sharing. Good to see you. I saw you today on your live and it was good. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. So blind guy, his wife, and their life. I'm so glad to see you. It's good to see you. Glad you guys are here. I'm just sharing y'all as everyone is coming on in the building. I'm trying to get this long message down because I just realized how long it was. So glad y'all are coming on in. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Hope you all aren't too full from all of your goodies from Thanksgiving. Yes, hope you aren't too stuffed. I'm feeling pretty stuffed myself. I just, yeah, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I am going to man, I'm gonna have to exercise already. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. So I hope you guys are good. It's a beautiful day. It's been kind of overcast and a little chilly, cool today. So yeah, it's been a lot. So I am thinking of, all the things I need to do to wrap up in a blanket and do all that. I'm thinking all of those things right about now. So I am excited. Let's see. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing well. Just a little chilly. How's the weather where you are? How's the weather where you are? How are you feeling? How are you doing? How are you? How's your day been? So, tell me all that in the comments. How's the weather where you are? That's a good place to begin. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, because that was a lot. Um, let's see, where else? Where else am I supposed to be sharing this, y'all? Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. All right. So, I am just let's see, let me tell her just seeing this. All right, guys, I think I'm done. So be on the share team and go ahead and get that out. So I think I'm done. All right, but it's been, like I said, it's been pretty good here. It's let me put my I'm cold. Anybody else cold? I feel like I am freezing. I don't know what is going on. I am. freezing on this day. So I have an announcement to make. I'll make it again, but I have an announcement to make for those of you in the stream. And so we have the class tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And so I have, because of 2 very generous donors, I have actually 2 tickets. So I would like to, so I wanted to give a ticket to the first person to come in. And so Blind Guy, his wife, and their life, Laquita Marie, and Corey, you are the winner of a free ticket for tomorrow's class. So I will send that on over to you guys, so you all can attend the ticket. I have, is it 3 and 3, right?
Oh, okay.
Right. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
My mathematician over here. Check my math. So we have, so Blind Guy, his wife, and their life are the first people to come in. So that means you won. You won. So please email me, Blind Guy, his wife, and their life. Please email me. Let's see, where is my email? Is my email up here? Let's see. Let me edit this. Is that right? Yeah, so I'm going to put this ticker up here and you'll see my email. That's my email, Laquita Marie, myrepadjourney@gmail.com. I think I'm going to have to edit this. I'm sorry. Let me see. Is that right? I feel like that's saved. Let's see. Let me put it back up there. But I saw that right there, but I don't see it when I put it in here. Oh, there it is. So, but anyway, my email is in here, and it's my repad. There it is. I think it's edited now. So, okay. But that's my email, myrepadjourney@gmail.com. Now it's not showing, or did I click the wrong one? I think I'm just clicking the wrong one. Oh, all right, let's see. Let's try to edit this again. Journey.
Just take the front off.
Email. Take the front off. Okay. There you are. Okay. All right. So, Laquita Marie, email me at myrepadjourney@gmail.com. You and Corey, so you can get your ticket to tomorrow's class. You're the first persons to come in. So yes, this is exciting. So please do that. I don't have your email or because I also need to send you out, since you're a member, the all of the different links from the videos for the private behind the scenes videos. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and email me at myrepadjourney@gmail.com. You'll see the ticker. I got it right on the below, and you'll get a free ticket to the class tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Hello, Blind Guy, his wife, and their life. So glad you are here. So glad you're here. Raise the roof and dance, and you are our winners. Yes. And so, hey, Mr. Hillary, you are also a winner. Email me, Mr. Hillary, at myrepadjourney@gmail.com because of two amazing donors that we had. We have a total of 6 tickets. So now you, Mr. Hillary, along with Corey and Laquita Marie, you will receive free tickets to the, I can't tell y'all everything, but y'all are going to receive free tickets to the class tomorrow. So we got 2. Put you up. And that's 1. And then we got Mr. Hillary. So we had a total of 6 tickets. All right, y'all. So that's what's happening. So This is exciting. So, Mr. Hillary, you got a ticket. You are a winner, Mr. Hillary. And I was, of course, Miss Hillary is such an amazing admin. So I'm just so glad and so grateful. So I was definitely going to make sure that admins were taken care of. But you were the second person to come in. So you got your number 2 right there. All right, guys. So I see there are 6 people watching. Just come on in the chat and let us know that you're here, because we're giving out free stuff tonight. We are giving out free stuff tonight. We're giving out free tickets to come to the class tomorrow. Isn't that exciting?
It is.
Very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mr. Milton is very quiet with us today. All right, so free tickets. I did not expect that. Thank you kindly. Much appreciated. Yes! Woo-hoo! We are so excited. So the class tomorrow, just email me. I'll send you out a link. And Corey and Laquita Marie, I don't have your email, so you will have to email me at the email below, myrepadjourney@gmail.com. The class is tomorrow at 1, so I would love you guys to be there, and I'm just so excited. Thank you to the donors. You know who you are. Thank you to the donors who did this. It's 2 of you. You guys did that because you wanted to make sure that everybody who wanted to be in this class definitely had that opportunity. So yes, come on in. Everybody that just come on in, because I'm giving away free stuff tonight. Isn't that exciting? Mm-hmm. Milton, what you want to talk about today?
I'm getting ready to go.
You getting ready to go?
Yeah.
You sure?
Just want to say hey.
You want to say hello to everybody? You want to tell them about your YouTube channel?
I'm tired.
Milton is tired today.
Yeah. Just want to say hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Hope you had a good Black Friday. And hopefully we will see you in class tomorrow. So good to see everybody.
Yay, class tomorrow. Yeah. Free tickets.
So how many more you got?
I have 2 so far. So now I have 4 left.
4 left?
Yeah, I have 4 left. And, I think one of them was already, I don't know if she'll come, if she's going to be able to come tonight. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Awesome. I put the word out so people can trickle. No, it's busy night. So this evening, so people can trickle on in as they're getting this message. So I love giving away free stuff. Y'all, anybody else? I get so excited when I give away free stuff. I do. All
right, good people. Just wanted to say hey. See you all later.
Thank you, Milton. Thank you for helping me share too, because that was pretty awesome.
All right.
I appreciate that. All right. So Milton's channel, y'all see him in below. Click his name, and you can go over and support Milton on his channel. That would be awesome. So tonight, look, arise, ye kings and queens of Africa. Arise, my people. Yes, arise, my people. Arise. It is time for us to arise and to know who we are. I'm trying to get this. Oh, there it is. To know who we are, right? This is the time to awaken and arise, children of Africa. Time to craft a life of Maat, right? It's time. What does it mean to craft a life of Maat? Who is Maat? What exactly is harmony, balance, and love? These are some of the questions we're going to be exploring. Crafting a life of Maat is crucial to the African soul. It defines and reawakens our ability to manifest the life that we desire. Maat can guide our perception, our relationships, money, spirituality, and governance. Maat reminds us of who we are and our true royal nature. Right, Maat reminds us that we have a purpose, Nia, and that we have much work to do. We have a lot of work to do. This is that purpose. This is the purpose of who we are as African kings and queens. This is the purpose that we have and the responsibility. And so the class tomorrow is manifesting your destiny. So, once we manifest our destiny, then we can also begin to know who we are, exactly who we are and what we are called to do. So we'll talk about that more tomorrow, about our purpose, once we know who we are and what it is that we are called to do. This is, this is the importance of everything, right? This is the importance of who we are. This is the importance of everything that is. And so let me see, my computer is trying not to act right. Oh, here it is. Okay. I was gonna say, she's trying. Technology, I tell you. Let's see. Free tickets, yes. Anja, I am working out with Mr. London. All right, sis. I'm so glad that you are here working out with Mr. London. We'll have fun with that. Anja Africa. Milton Corey says, hello, y'all brothers have to stick together. I know, absolutely. Look, the brothers in the house, Mr. Hillary, Milton, and Corey. So glad. Anja, I'm giving out free tickets tomorrow for the class tomorrow. So if you're the third person to come in, so you won a ticket. So just go ahead and email me and I will give you your free ticket. I'll send you the link so that you can come to the class tomorrow. So exciting. And so yeah, we're good. We're just going to have fun. We are just going to have a lot of fun. Yes, free tickets. Absolutely. Really. We are going to have a lot of fun. And so we talked about, right? We're talking about Maat. And so how many of you know who Maat is? What Maat is? You know who or what Maat is? Anybody raise your hand? This is like class, of course. This is like class, right? So for some have said that Maat is the daughter of, right? Some have said that Maat as a goddess, that she really didn't exist, but she was just she was a beautiful goddess, right? And so others believe that she was a daughter of a very powerful king, right? Or that she was also a daughter. But what we know is that some believe that she actually lived and that she created these principles, right? And these principles throughout history that can help you to ground your life, to bring in more harmony and balance, right? And so many believes it's so Maat comes from Egypt. It comes from Kemet, out of Kemetic principles. And so many believe, right, that she was this reality and this grounding in reality that made the sun to rise and the stars to shine and the rivers to flow and mankind to think. So there is this, there is this Ra or Amen Ra, that is the creator of all things, right? Or, and then of course there is the goddess herself, a priestess who governed all of the justice systems and governed the world itself, governed this, the sun and the moon and the stars and the rivers and the waters and all of the lakes. And so just governed and brought peace, right? Mine was also about judgment and ruling this idea that there is balance and there is harmony in all things. So she brought about justice. So when you see things Now, even in this justice system, right? Even within this justice system, you see all this justice, the blind scales and weights of balance here in this westernized system. A lot of that comes from Kemetic rule. It comes from the principles of Maat, balance and harmony, right? And justice. And so the 7 principles, right? The 7, there it is, Anja. Yes, Queen Maat, the 7 principles representing truth, justice, and love. Ah, you're welcome. Yes, the tickets. Yay, free tickets, right? Who that love free? I love free. And I'm just so grateful to the members who have sponsored these tickets. It's beautiful, amazing thing. And I am just so grateful. And so you're welcome. All you gotta do is email me and you can get your free ticket. So here it is, right? Truth, justice, reciprocity, righteousness, harmony, balance, and divine order. And so whenever I think about divine order, I always think about whenever I think about divine order, I always think about the divine feminine and masculine. And so my aunt regulates that, regulates this balance and this harmony within us. And so even when it comes to love, she regulates this idea that we have the opportunity to create the life that we want, that we have this opportunity to create a life of balance, of harmony, right? And so there's a lot of talk that's going on now. It's very interesting. There's a lot of talk that's going on now about submission and all of these other things. There's this talk and conversations about, male and female and African Americans and African American women and Black men. And, there's all these different conversations that are going up around. There's a lot of talk especially on YouTube and the internet, from everything on polygamy to in marriage. And as people are going back to Africa, they're having all of these deep conversations about life and about what it means to live life as an African, to live life with an African mindset, and to have your life guided with an African mentality. And so in this African soul, I'm thinking, like, within this whole African soul of who I am and what I am, I'm thinking, as these conversations are going on, I'm thinking, well, what really feels right for me? What really fits for me, and with my own personality and my own self and my relationship? And so what I've learned to do, especially, I've said this before about my husband, we have this balanced, loving relationship, and we've become more balanced as years have gone on. And we decided to design a relationship, to craft a life that was right for us. And everyone has to decide and create a life that's right for them, right? A life that's right for you, a life that's balanced, a life that's full of harmony and that's full of joy. And so sometimes this problem comes in relationships, the problem and between and sort of these wars between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And it gets kind of a bit messed up. It gets a lot, right, going on, and a lot of conversations that just are not necessarily healthy and even realistic, right? So people are asked sometimes to submit in ways that they shouldn't, where their hearts are being, or personalities or bodies or whatever are being abused. And so you have to, really pull back and think, what's right for me? And my eye begins to bring these answers, right? Of balance and harmony within relationships. Even you can tell, even within this system of the West, you can tell things are out of balance, right? You can tell things are out of whack. They've always been from the beginning, right? But you can tell things are out of whack, that they're like out of harmony. And you start beginning to have things like racism, or you have these gender wars and these gender type issues, because we're out of balance. Like something's just off, it's just not right. And so when we get back to an African, more Afrocentric state of mind in reality, then we realize that what we want to create is something new, right? What we want to create is something different. What we want to create is something balanced and harmonious, where our souls can really be fed, where we can really have the life that we desire, where we can have a life of happiness and peace and truth and justice. A lot of times, the reason we as a people, a royal people, when we show up in the West, right? And we show up in this system that we come in, this matrix. The reason it doesn't really fit with us, it doesn't really work, for us. So we start looking, at all of the inconsistencies with what people say, and the inconsistencies with who people are and how they act and how they treat each other. People say, "Oh, I live by these set of principles in Christianity," or "I live by this set," and then the next thing they're very abusive or mean towards a certain group of people, or women are treated a certain way that's not very healthy or positive. All this stuff is going on, and the African soul, is looking at this and going, "That ain't right. Like, that doesn't even feel right. That's wrong. Like, well, we shouldn't be locking children up in cages. We shouldn't be doing any of these things that we're doing. Racism shouldn't exist. Like, we just become intolerable, right, to the systems and situations as they exist." And that is because, many believe, and I've said this before, we are the ancestors reawaken. We are the ancestors. We are our ancestors re-envision, right? Reawakening, reincarnated in this system, in this time. Because with I believe that life, with the spiritual principles of that life never ended, right? That life, the Egyptian principles that life never ended, that we just continue to go on, we continue to exist, but just in another form. And if we didn't finish these things within the world, right, now, that we would come back and we would return and complete the original assignment that we have been given. And so all of these principles were within Kemetic, religious principles within the Kemetic system, which we came out of. We came out of Kemet. We came out of Africa, right? A more balanced, harmonious system that feeds our minds and feeds our souls. It feeds our spirits. We have something, right, to feast on and hold on to. Something that's real, that's solid, that's based in truth, that's based in love, that honors each other. It honors the divine feminine, honors the divine masculine, where we really and truly honor each other and love each other. And that is where we are, right? This is where we are in the system of why so many people are choosing to leave the West and to go home, to return home, because this system doesn't fit into those seven principles that we already live by. Nobody had to teach us these things. Nobody had to come train us. This is how we live. We live in balance and harmony with the earth. We live in balance and harmony with nature. We live in balance and harmony with all that is. We are one with all that is. This is why it's easy for us to manifest. Yeah. It's easier for us to, manifest and call in what we want and we desire. This is why we're continually blessed and able to live this life. And other people look at us and they wonder, how y'all blessed? And they're, jealous. They real J. Green with envy. They can't figure out why our skin looks so good, why we as Black women, and Black men, why Black don't crack, and why our children, despite all of the evil and the different things that have come against us, why our children still thrive and are able to survive. They can understand it. They don't know why we are able to continue to thrive, while we can take a little bit and make a lot, right? How we can take, dressing and feed a whole family, feed a whole meal, right? How we can start a business just selling t-shirts, and all of a sudden our t-shirts are all around the world. How we could take FUBU, for example, for us, by us, and turn that into a multi-million-dollar company. We don't understand how Carol's daughter started in her kitchen, and how now she is selling her products all over the world, and companies are coming to her to try to figure out what's going on. It's us. It's the power that we have within us. And so the more you tap into your divine nature and your royalty, but the more you tap into your African soul, the more you tap into the principles of Maat, the principles of Kemet, then you are connected, right? Not only to the ancestors, but you're connected to prosperity and wealth, and to all that is. Blind Guy, his wife, their life, says, after discovering the laws of my life, after discovering the laws of Maat, I realized how judgmental I was in Pentecostal holiness religion. Girl, that's where I came from. Look, that is where I came from. Pentecostal. So my grandfather was a Baptist, and then my grandfather was Baptist, and then my grandmother, after they divorced, she went and we joined the Pentecostal church. And it's super judgmental. I mean, you got to wear dresses. Well, this is, when I grew up, you wore dresses, you couldn't wear makeup, you couldn't go to the movies, you couldn't play that devil music, you couldn't have no fun, you couldn't do anything. And everybody was a sinner. Everybody. She wore red lipstick, she wore a dress too low, she did this, she did that. Very judgmental. And it's that conservative religious practices, those conservative religious practices, that don't even allow you to have the freedom to know who you are, to explore who you are, the beauty of who you are, and no mention at all of you as an African, right? Or you as a person having, right, any foreknowledge of spirituality or life itself, because nothing existed until Christ came. And then we were all heathens, right? I get you. I get you. And so in that system, right, this holiness, Christianized, weaponized system, there is no place, right? There's no place for reciprocity, for righteousness, harmony, any of those things. Because if you live outside of the specific rules that we're taught, right, and the specific things that we're taught to attain and to give the 10% and all those other ways we're supposed to live our life, no, nothing else exists. Nothing else exists except that. And so it's a system that's very detrimental, can be very detrimental to our spirits and to our souls. And so awakening and arising as Africans is important. It's imperative in this season. Anja Africa says, Carol's daughter, Brooklyn, I was in her Brownstone making purchases. Oh my, like that is history right there. You were in her Brownstone making purchases. Ain't that something? Wow. I think she got bought out. I'm not sure. She sold. I don't know. So I don't want to misspeak, but we are powerful. And honey, this is not a reflection of the ancestors. She named it Carol's daughter. You hear what I'm saying? This is to say, this is to say, I honor you. I honor my mother. I honor all of the things that she has done and created and instilled in me and taught me. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful, 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 beautiful thing, right? We are royal, right? We are royal and we are royalty. Absolutely. Yep. Rocking with Spike Lee, since she's got to have it. It was black and yep, absolutely. I love it. Yes. Wow. Wow. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. Brownstones. Wow. I love it. You are correct. I mean, absolutely. She created this beautiful business and she does this beautiful thing of giving recognition and love to her mother. And it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And it's a beautiful thing. But that's who we are, right? That's who we are. Reciprocity, love, honor, harmony, balance, and divine order, right? That is what it is. I am because of my parents. I am because of my mother. I am because of my father. I am because of my grandparents. I am because of the ancestors. And so she does this honor. Carol's daughter, I just love her to hear her talk about her mom and why she named it that way, because it is absolutely beautiful. And so in remembering who we are and remembering how we are raised and remembering our royalty and our royal nature, it gives an opportunity to create these balanced businesses. And people are wondering, well, how did she do it? Right? How is she doing this? And it's us then as brothers and sisters coming, right? Flowing into this space. And I have my thing right there. I thought I did. But it's us flowing into this space and supporting the work that is being done and supporting the other person's gift, right? And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Supporting those gifts, supporting each other, and loving each other in a balanced and holistic way. And so when we get back into the principles of my aunt, you have these things, right? You have these beautiful things like Anja Africa, walking into the Brownstone, making purchases, because that same principle now not only lives in Carol and Carol's daughter and what she's creating, but now it lives in Anja, right? It lives in her because her mother or her father, her parents, her grandmother are instilling, her family, they're instilling those values in her. And then now she is embarking on those values and instilling those same values in their children, in her children. And it just continues to go on and to go on and to go on, right? And Blind got his wife in their life doing the same thing, right? And so we continue to invest in each other, continue to love each other, and continue to grow as we embrace our African crown. I figured out, Blind guy, his wife, their life says, I figured out I could just this is Laquita Marie. I figured out I could just wear pants. I wouldn't get pregnant. Because the skirts were so easy to get under, and all the girls in the church were pregnant by church members. Ain't that something? And most of them, because in the Baptist church, we laugh because, I laugh now. But my grandmother used to say this all the time. In the Baptist church, they were pregnant by the deacons. Not all Baptist churches. Don't come for me. But in many black, in many churches, it was the deacons and these other folks sitting right there on the pews doing most of the dirt. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to get off that. Talking about judgmental. And so in this, new way of going back and reclaiming our own African traditional religions, then you realize you see the fallacies, you see these walls that have been set up and that have been created within these other religions, right? Which I want to say false, but many of these other religions. And so you just have to be careful. You have to be careful, and you have to know who you are and reclaim your own African ness and your own African royalty, because you will live a lie. You will live a lie. You'll live a life that's out of balance. I know I did. And I have the same sort of stories, right? With Pentecostalism. And so you live this life that's out of balance. That's what happened to I will think of his name. But that's what happened. Let me look up his name. What was he over? He was over the Azusa Street, right? And he woke up. Revival. This preacher. Oh, what was his name? I can see his name. Azusa Street. Revival. But he had an awakening, right? Azusa Street. Cannot think of his name. You know who I'm talking about? Laquita Marie from Azusa Street, the preacher that had the awakening. He said that let's see, I'm gonna look up his name right quick since it's just a black preacher. The one that said there is no devil. No, it's not gonna come up. Carlton Pearson. That's who I'm saying. That's it. Yeah. So he said there is nobody goes to hell. There's no devil. And so Carlton Pearson lost everything, right? After saying this and after going against the traditional Pentecostal religion, right? And so he lost everything, lost his church. He was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Dr. Ray Hagan, right? So all these different preachers come out against him, and it's all this stuff is amazing, because once you wake up, you say there's no hell, you start going, having these getting into consciousness and spirituality, you start having these awakenings after your mind becomes awakened, and you start to understand mysteries of life that you hadn't understood before, hadn't even thought of before. And suddenly it's like, oh, there is no death. Okay, there's no hell. I'm not going to hell. I'm not going to have death. No, you're not going to have any of that. And so it's important for us. This is why it's so important, right? He had an epiphany, right? He had exactly, Anja Africa. He had an epiphany. And that's why it's important for us to reclaim who we are. Because otherwise, we're in someone else's system, living someone else's story, bound by someone else's rules. And Maat gives you this freedom. And one of the first things that we become awakened to are these principles. And we may not even know that Maat is what's calling us, right? Is like the Sandman calling us to awaken and to come out of this rest, to come out of the sleep, and to hear truth, to hear balance, to hear justice, and to demand for justice. Whenever I, even see the protesters and all of the things that they're doing in demanding justice, right? You hear Maat say, something is unbalanced. Something is not right. Come back to balance. Come back to harmony. You hear my whispering to you. You don't know what it is in the beginning, right? You're awakening. And she's calling all African children to come home, to come back to an African mindset, to come back home, to an African way of life, to come back home to African-centered principles and spirituality, to come back home to Africa herself, and to build and to grow and to know that you don't have to be treated this way. You don't have to be or feel or endure these injustices, that there is a better way, that there's a greater way. You then, like Carlton Pearson and so many others, then we can have an epiphany and we can arise and we can awaken, right? Blind Guy says, and his wife, Corey and Laquita, grassroots is what we call balance. If the churches taught the 7 laws of Maat, then they'd be truly an amazing institution of progress. I didn't realize that about Carlton Pearson. Yeah, he had a huge church. He was on TV, used to be on TVN. He would lead those Azusa Street revivals. In the modern day, he revived those Azusa Street revivals, the Pentecostal, and he was raised in Pentecostal holiness, and he had this awakening to consciousness. And in fact, he left his Pentecostal church after everyone left. He lost his building. Church members left. So many people spoke out against him, and he lost everything. And finally, he got a job as being, for a time, he was like the interim pastor of Reverend Ike's church in Chicago. Yeah. All because he said there is no heaven, there's no hell, there's no devil. Right? He had this epiphany, and it totally, completely changed his life. Hi, Benson. How are you? Good to see you. Hi, watching after a long, busy day. Well, welcome, sir. I'm so glad you are with us. I'm so glad that you have joined us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. And to everyone who is with us, thank you so much for being here with us. I just appreciate you so much. I know some of you all are over on Facebook, and so I just want to thank you guys so much for watching and for being with us today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you and for being here, for being here. I know it's a Friday night and everyone is busy. I know you've probably got more dressing to try to eat, or you've got dressing to eat, and you've got ham and turkey and all of those other plant-based foods to put away. And so I'm just glad that you took a little time. There you go. There's some Facebook stuff. You got a little time to come and spend with us. I appreciate it just so much. Yeah. So my aunt changes things, right? And my aunt begins to call to her children to come home. My aunt begins to call to her children, come home, come home, come home, and be balanced, right? To come home and to be balanced. Find your balance, find your power, right? To come home and to recognize yourself and remember who you are. I talk about this a lot. I have videos on remember your crown, remember who you are, and know that you are the people and the children of Africa. And so not only are you being called, right, to do something amazing, right, with your own family and restoring and returning balance and harmony to your own family. And so we talk about this a lot. We talk about all the time about or hear people talk about generational curses. If you were raised in a Pentecostal church, you know exactly, Baptist church, you know exactly, right? This whole thing about ending generational curses. And so, here, as you begin to reflect on my aunt and balance and harmony and all of that, you can restore your own balance, and you can restore your bloodline, and you can end these curses. You can end these negative things that have been in our generations and in our bloodlines for years, right? All of these things. When we start thinking about my aunt, right? You start thinking, hey, hi there, happy companion. It's so good to see you. So when you start to think about my aunt and you start to think about harmony and peace and balance, then you can discourage and dispel the myth or end forever, right? This whole thing as it relates to the angry Black woman, right? So here we are. We have this whole thing about the angry Black woman being so angry, being hurt, being traumatized throughout the world, being traumatized because of slavery, rape, abuse, her body misused, right? Her mind sold, seen her children sold, seen her children ripped out of her arms, seen her husband sold, and brothers and sisters and other family members. And so now we have this imperfect person that's running around. You have this imperfect woman, right? Or human running around. And how do you bring balance and healing, true healing and balance to African American women? And so one of those ways to do that is through remembering my aunt, right? So remembering my aunt in peace and joy and love, right? And balance and harmony. So you're not having, right, this imbalance of imperfection and oppression and violence against women. We really can truly live in a society where women are respected, where women are treated with respect and honored and loved, and truly, truly respected and loved. Then you have this, we talked about this divine feminine energy. So that exists. Then you can restore that divine feminine energy to women, right? To allow yourself to have that divine feminine energy. So to come and restore and come within you, as opposed to just running on, I need to, be a certain way, act a certain way, do a certain thing. And then for men, it's the same, very similar. You can restore divine masculine, right? You can restore the divine masculine in a way so that it's beautiful, and so that men aren't, Black men especially, aren't just sent from this pipeline of school, right? School to jail, where you have the seamless pipeline that's going on here in the West, from school straight to jail, right? And in between, if you're caught, for example, or you have a bad interaction with a policeman, it could be worse. Out of balance, so out of balance. Men, even in this country, where we're having rappers calling women all kinds of names. I was trying to watch some. I think I was trying to watch Milton's videos, and I was watching a few of Blind Guy, his wife, and their wife videos. I try to visit everybody, Happy Companion, and I was just getting frustrated with YouTube, because it's like ad after ad after ad, where these rapper after rapper, new rappers coming on, and they're got their Google AdSense, and is bloop this, bloop this, bloop this, and these little boys, 16-year-old, got 20 little girls running all around them. I want to say you are out of order, but not only that, you're out of balance and harmony. There's more to life than this sexualized view of women and a sexualized view of dehumanizing view of women and who they are. And so when did we get out of balance? I watched a parts of a documentary where one of the rappers was talking about some of the different contracts that were made with rappers back in the early 90s, right? As they were in the contracts were being made and contracts were being signed about gangster rap and what they wanted people to rap about. And it became clear that it was important to rap about women, right, in a very negative and derogatory way. Money and this hype idealized view of what it meant to be rich and what it meant to be wealthy, and to push that with all the gold chains, with all the stuff. And so when the Kangos, and so it became, well, not Kangos is 70, I'm sorry. But with, all the gold chains and the gold teeth and the, diamonds in the teeth. And so with the fancy cars and everybody's, showing, this and doing all that. And we're out of balance. We're out of whack. We're out of balance with who we are. And so my aunt comes and she begins to awaken her children, and she begins to say, I need you to come home, right? I need you to return to balance and to harmony and to justice. And as my aunt begins to see her children, innocent children, right, abused and oppressed, my aunt begins to arise, and that African soul, that African spirit, and that African need, the warrior and the princess and the divine feminine, the kings and the divine masculine, right? All these energies begin to arise, and you begin to demand justice. You begin to demand that we're treated better. And you demand it, and then demand it and demand it. And my aunt begins to continue to speak with us and talk with us and says, baby, you need to go home. You're not going to get it here. You're not going to get all of what you are asking for. I need you to return. That makes sense. Blind Guy, his wife, their life says, I appreciate those willing to redirect people towards all that is possible, not the limits of societal, racial, gender bias constraints. Absolutely. Because this is that season. This is the season to redirect our energies, to redirect, right, away from societal limits, from racial limits, from gender bias constraints, right? I was saying this earlier on the live because hubby and I have decided that we're going to live a balanced life. We decided this years ago. So in the midst of the 90s, this totally unbalanced. How could you get more unbalanced than the 90s and gangster rap? How could you? You couldn't. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to talk about out of balance. And there was a lot of good things, conscious rap and all of that, but it was just this also war against, conscious rap. What happened? We were in the 80s, in the early 90s with conscious rap. What happened to that? Like, it just kind of left. So Queen Latifah's, singing UNITY. We're doing all this stuff. We're all excited. And the next thing you know, she's doing, what's the movie that she was in? Not the President's movie, but the other movie where they robbed the bank and all that. Like, what happened? What happens? Totally out of balance, out of character, right, from who we are. And we used to talk about all the time, hubby and I talk about this all the time, about how, how people, easily can get out of balance, how we can easily just get out of balance and move away from what you're really, your own mind and what you're called to do. And so we sit around, we talk about when we were growing up in African American neighborhoods. If you saw something on the news, right? If you saw something on the news, you knew when we were younger that it wasn't us. If they said such and such got robbed, such and such got shot, something, growing up, when we were younger, like 6, 7, 8, it wasn't automatic that it was us. Now you turn on the news and you hate to even turn on the news. You be like, and they say something, you be like, oh Lord, I hope that ain't us. 5 folks shot, I hope that ain't us. 2 folks in jail for it. I hope that ain't us. You know, it's the first thing you thought. But when we were growing up, there was more balance. There were families. We were more balanced. We were much more in harmony, much more balanced with who we are. Much more balanced with who we are. And we had just a huge sense of pride about our communities. When I was growing up, we had such a huge amount of pride and love for our communities. And we just don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have it anymore. It's kind of been lost. We're claiming it little by little, step by step. But we've lost a lot of that. And it's time for us to become more balanced, to receive more harmony. And so just to catch up, Benson says, please help me to understand since I joined late. So one of the things that we're talking about is arise and awaken, children of Africa. It's time to craft a life of my art. Time to craft a life of harmony and balance and love, right? Time to create a life that we desire. So when I say craft, that's my last name. So I'm talking about designing, crafting, building, being master crafters and designers, right? And so what does it mean to live a life of my art? It really means to live a life of harmony and balance. And so my art is a goddess from Kemet, right? From an Egyptian goddess. And so she controls harmony and balance and justice. And within her, there is this, right? There is this balance and harmony. So you'll see within my art this balance of the divine feminine and masculine and divine masculine energies, the divine masculine energies and the divine feminine energies. You'll see this harmony, you'll see this balance, you'll see this cooperation and working together. And when couples come together and live in this divine harmony, in this divine balance, you'll see them being very different. You'll see their relationships, right, being very different than what you'll see in the world. And these aren't the images of the relationships that you will, that people will talk about, that people will see. They much rather talk about the angry Black woman. They much rather talk about the angry Black man. They much rather talk about those things than to concentrate on these balanced relationships, this Black love that really exists in the Black community. Because we've been so out of balance. You have out of balance from slavery. You have these things that are out of balance. You have men and women who, you have things like, women who are not necessarily as positive, right? You have the angry Black woman, right? That sort of unbalanced person, right? That is perpetrated and promoted by the media. Let me say that. So you have this unbalanced relationships with fathers and their children, where the dad's not there. The dads don't take care of their children, which is also perpetuated by the media, because there are plenty of dads who are around, even if they aren't married to the wife, or aren't married to the mom. There are plenty of dads who are taking care of their children. Absolutely. There are plenty of moms who take care of their families and are loving and are kind and are peaceful and are not the angry Black woman. So a lot of this stuff is out of balance, but it's also a lot of things that are being forced and thrust upon us, and things that we have to overcome as a part of our history in America. And because the media continues to portray this, it's a benefit to them to portray these issues and these problems. And so Maat is an Egyptian concept of truth, balance, and justice. It is personified by the goddess of these things. She's called Maat. She is typically depicted as a woman in Egyptian mythology and African mythology, as an African goddess, right? And so Maat was the rule of law and moral justice among the ancient Kemet people. And so she has within her is this divine cosmological order within their mythology, astronomy, and other studies. And so much has been written about her. A lot has survived because she's the balance of order and harmony and law and justice. She dictates the seasons, right? The stars. If you have if you have the moon, you have the sun. So she dictates all of these things, right? There's the sun and there's the rain. There's this harmony and balance of knowing that we live in this balanced culture and that all things are aligned, right? Nubian God lives. What do you say to those who are who say they're not from Africa but descended from Native Americans and whatnot? What do I say to them? Wow, interesting. I don't say much. For me, I know, who I am. I know that we're African. I also know and believe that we were explorers. And so we were powerful people and explorers and have explored this world, the entire world. And we ruled and we reigned right over the entire world. One of the most interesting quotes that I heard recently with this year was from Kellyanne Conway. And if you know, Kellyanne works for or did work for the outgoing one. Okay, let's call him that. And so she made this interesting quote. She was like, because they was talking about all of the killings and all of the things that have been, kind of going on. And she said something very interesting. She said, Black folks just need to get over it. This is what she said. She's like, Black folks just need to get over it. They lost the war and it just is what it is. They just need to get over it. And I was like, wait a minute. Could get mad. But before I do, let me think about what she said. She is recognizing something that we often do not recognize. And that is we were explorers and we ruled the world and we conquered the world. And this is why they came to Kemet. All these other forces came, right, to Egypt to conquer us and to conquer, right, to try to rule and to reign over us. Not just Kemet, but all from South Africa to the Gambia, all of these places. So when they saw us with our gold, right, and all of the wealth and the riches, and they're looking, and we are rulers and we reign. And so that history has been continuously deleted. And I believe that there are and were people from Africa who made it to the Americas and who were here. This is just my opinion, okay? I believe we were already here. I wouldn't call myself a Native American. I would call myself an African who was already here, I believe. And so that's what I'd say, because that's truly what I believe. I believe that we are a powerful people. And I believe that we had the power because we did, right? You go to Benin and you have iron workers and you see all of the ships that were being built. And so you know that we were powerful, but we don't often know our power, right? We don't often know who we were. And so I believe that even Mansa Musa, I believe that when, Mansa Musa left with his Um, I believe when Mansa Musa left Africa, right, and he came, he's the wealthiest king, described as the wealthiest king of Africa. His story has been explored on National Geographic. So he leaves. He was born in the Mali Empire, and so Mansa Musa was, born in the Mali Empire, and so he was in West Africa. So he leaves West Africa, right? So part of the Mali Empire is of Ghana, right? And so he leaves the this empire, and he makes this trek with beautiful ships to come to the West, to where we are now, this new world, right? Quote unquote, with all of his wealth, with all of his riches. And I believe he made it. And I believe that we were already here. I do. I believe, then that's what I would say to them. When you look at your African self, you are looking at the descendants of Mansa Musa. That's just me now. You don't have to agree. And what happens is we often don't know just how powerful we are. We don't realize how powerful the Nubians were. We don't realize how powerful Kemet was, how powerful Egypt was, right? So Alexander goes through and chops off all the noses, right? Off of all of the statues and the shrines and all of that. And the Egyptians have claimed, of course, that they do not recognize them as Africans, as Nubians, but they were. And the Nubian kingdom was absolutely one of the most powerful kingdoms in the world. And so if all of these other cultures could build ships to go around the world and could make it, why couldn't we? And I believe we could, with all of Mansa Musa's wealth and all of the ingenuity and power and innovative abilities that are in Africa and wealth. I believe they could make it. They had all of the gold, they had all of the diamonds. I believe they did make it here. And so when I talk about we as African Americans, or we as African people, we as children of Africa, were claiming our crown, it's important that we as African Americans here know who we are, understand why we were even targeted, those of us who were directly brought here from Africa. It's important that to know why we were even targeted, to know why we were targeted for slavery to be brought here to this world, because of our talents and because of our gifts, because of our ability to create things and design. This is why America looks the way that it does. Beautiful, because we have this ability to design and to create. All of the wealth, all the gold, right? I mean, all the wealth in diamonds in South Africa, right? Those kings, right? Those our ancestors, our people were wealthy. And I believe not only just Mansa Musa from Ghana, but I believed all of the kings came in their wealth, right? Mansa Musa traveled throughout the world, and he was dropping so much gold that he would bankrupt systems. And so when Alexander, all these different, all these people, Greek rulers, when they began to see how wealthy they were, they wanted it. Well, how would they have even been able to see it if Mansa Musa had not, and other kings and queens from Nubia, and kings and queens from South Africa with their diamonds, and all of Zimbabwe, all over Africa, if they hadn't been able to travel? And sometimes we forget just how powerful and wealthy they were. And so it's my belief, just mine, that we who are in America are part of a ruling class, and that we who are in Africa were particularly targeted. Our warriors, our people, particularly targeted to come here, especially those of us who are in in America, in the West, to build. But that's what I'd say. I hope that helps. Thank you for the question. That was really good and thoughtful question. Thank you. Nubian, God lives, chew the fish out, spit out the bones. Right. You know, exactly. Chew the fish out, spit out the bones. Yeah. Even in what I said, but chew the fish out, spit out the bones when people say what they say. It is what it is. I think that there's awakening that's happening. And so I'm just glad that they are awakening and they will continue to awaken. I am South African, by the way. I live in Johannesburg. Welcome. So glad to have you here. Thank you so much. And thank you for that question. It was really good. Blind Guy, his wife, their life says, Nubian, God lives. Not sure if you're familiar with Mapungo Joseph Mara III, but he speaks to us managing ourselves with our culture. Lead by example. Don't try changing others. And that's really good, right? We lead by example and talk about what talk about who we are and the melanin of who we are. It's interesting too. The outgoing one who's here, the ruler, the outgoing president, he said something very interesting. And he said that, a lot of people use that quote. He said that these Indians that are here don't look like the Indians that we know. It's very interesting because we know that, what is it called? A $2 Indian that you could, people could buy their, they could buy their nationality. They could buy and become a tribe, become a part of, and be a Native American. And it's like $2, $6, something like that. And very, expensive at the time. And so they could buy that because, the government was giving out land to these tribes. And so a lot of that happened. But a lot of the records, for example, with my ancestors, there were fires in the early 1900s in multiple cities and in the capital city, Jackson, Mississippi, where the records were burned. So you have the birth records were being burned, a lot of the census information being destroyed, which is no different than, what's being destroyed now. So my thing is that as we embrace culture, I tend to embrace, and I do embrace, what I believe, that we were explorers and we were conquerors, and that we were here before Columbus. I'm not saying Native American. I'm just saying we were already here as rulers, in addition to what happened during the transatlantic slave trade. And I don't think I don't think we should release that part of our culture, to know our heritage, to know that we come from a very powerful people that traveled all over the world and was able to build ships and had the wealth, more so than any other country, to be able to do it and to be able to have the wealth to be able to conquer nations. We had the diamonds and the gold and all of these other things that other nations did not have. Very good. Y'all are good in the comments. Anja, good way to put it. Just do what you can where you can. Well, with what you have. Absolutely. Yes, I know him. Been watching his channel. Absolutely. Anja, knowledge value can be found in the traditions and beliefs of others. Absolutely. There's knowledge everywhere. Nubian, I experience a lot of naysayers, but they just don't realize who they are. I stopped dealing with that conundrum and try to do my part to just empower our minds. Absolutely. That's great advice. Great advice. Anja, loved Peace with Elder couple. My mom's people are Gullah Geechee. Oh, nice. Wow. That is nice. And they're, with Gullah Geechee, you're able to preserve. This is a culture that's been able to preserve, right? Preserve their culture and been able to preserve a lot of the spiritual and cultural traditions. And that's really awesome. And get a sip of water in there. Blind his wife. Their life exactly. Low vibration. Low vibrations. Yes. I believe the best way Nubian God lives, I believe the best way for people to kickstart a relationship is through trade and commerce. If Black Americans and other diaspora can travel to Africa to do business, this will open many opportunities. And I believe that. I believe that. I believe that because Kuja Shakalia, right? Kuja Shakalia. Say that right? Yeah. The Kwanzaa principle of cooperative work in economics, of working together, right? Of coming together, pooling our resources and working together and creating the world that we desire. That's what we should be about in the system, right? That's what we really should be about. That's what we really should be doing. And so I absolutely agree. Now, you're in South Africa now, are you from America? Because I absolutely agree that this should be opened up to the diaspora, to us all. One love, welcome, Global Green Book. So good to see you. So good to see you. You're right. Our history does not begin. No, it does not begin with slavery. We were here before Columbus. Malcolm X said it. We were already here. Plymouth Rock didn't land on us. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Doesn't mean that we're Native Americans. It just means that the Nubians were powerful people and rich and wealthy. Mansa Musa, powerful, right? The Egyptians, the Kemets, powerful people. And all of that, much of that history has been erased. Much of that history been erased. And from everything, from you go and you look now, even in Egypt, you visit Egypt, and people don't want to do the testing on the pharaohs. So to know who they are. Their noses have been destroyed. Clearly, you can look at them and see their lips. I talk about Buddha all the time, right? The not-a-haired Buddha with the twist. I forgot what the Bantu knots. Yeah, African. And there were Africans already in India for thousands of years. And there are African Black Indians still in India today. But we're so disconnected from our history because of what happened to us, right? And because they want you trapped in this mental system, of slavery and being concentrated on, focused on slavery. Because if you're concentrated on that, then they have you trapped. You have low self-esteem. You don't really think your people come from any thing that is of worth. You don't have a any self-esteem about yourself to plan or to make a better life for yourself. None of that. You can't. You can't. And we didn't begin with slavery. We didn't just begin. We were conquerors and we were rulers, and we traveled all over the world, and we conquered the known world. This is why the enemies came for us. This is why we have enemies, and we have people even today who came for us. All of our, not just because our wealth was sitting there in Africa, but because we went out into the world and began to conquer it and to rule and to reign. Start looking at Russia. Look at even Hawaii. You had Black Africans who were queens in Hawaii. I'm gonna look up her name because we don't know this. In Hawaii. Here she is. Let's see if I can Here it is. This is on PBS. I'm going to show this to you because this is her. What if they're going to give a picture? There she is. Okay. I'm going to show this to you guys so you can see it, because a lot of people don't know it. And if Africans could make it to Hawaii, don't you think they could make it to America? Here she is. She's beautiful. You see her? There she is. Right? And so she is, I'm not going to try to mispronounce her name, but Queen Lilua Kalani. She is the first and the last Queen of Hawaii. And she was Black. They call her the last Black Queen of Hawaii. That's who she is. And you can look her up. And there's so much of our history that we don't know. There's so much of our history that we don't know. And that we missed. And it's time for us to begin to research. And here it is. Here it is. Why is my interrupted? Oh, there it is. There she is. The African presence in Hawaii. Are y'all seeing that? So there it is. The African presence in Hawaii. And if our people could make it to Hawaii, then we could have made it to the rest of the world. The Southerner says, who settled in Hawaii Islands during the 19th century, said, had a song about the native people there and said, you may call them Hawaiian, but they look like Indians to me. And so he was talking about the kings and queens of Hawaii that ruled during the 19th century. And so we don't know that part of that history. I'm going to give you this king's name so you can put it in there. I'm going to put the king's name in there so you can look him up as well. And we don't know that part of our history. We don't know. We kind of missed, we missed that part of who we are. All right. So there's that. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Greetings. Yeah, so glad that you're here, Jackie. Jackie, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Jackie, I have free tickets to tomorrow's class. And so if you email me, you are the winner of tickets. And so that means I'm going to have the class is tomorrow at 1:00. And so as people are coming in, you now have a ticket. So now let me see. I'm going to put down Jackie. I have Anja. Okay. So that's 4 tickets. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means I have 2 tickets left. All right. And so Jackie, you have 1 Global Green Book. Let's see. If you would like a ticket, let me know. I'm doing a free giveaway today. So Global Green Book. So you are also the winner of a ticket. So I have Global Green Book and Jackie. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you are. We got these tickets going up. And Jackie, I don't have your email, so you'll have to email me. And the email is being scrolled below, myrepackjourney@gmail.com. And you can come to the class tomorrow at 1:00. And all these free tickets going out here. All right, let's see. Okay. Nubian God lives. No, ma'am. I've never been to America and frankly don't like America. That's okay. But I love Black Americans because you relate much to our struggles against supremacy in than any other Black nation, including Africa. Yes, absolutely. Yes, we do relate to apartheid, sadly so. Yep, we do. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Anja Africa, African presidents in Asia, Dr. Runoko Rashidi, absolutely, African presidents in Asia. And so when you start looking at that and you start really thinking about that, you realize we were powerful people and we were explorers. You can't just explain that away. You can't just explain that away. And that isn't because of slavery or any other thing. The only way you can explain that is to say that we were explorers and that we were conquerors. That's how we got all over the world. That's what happened. Nubian God lives wise beyond your years. I love Sister Anja. Yes. All right. So you all are talking about. Oh, thank you very much. You are welcome. Yes, you are welcome. You are so welcome. Teach the original Hawaiians were Black people. Yes, they were. And we don't know our power. We have lost this connection and we stopped researching. We stopped even trying to find. Like we just believed for so long what we were told that we stopped even trying to figure out who we were. We stopped even trying to know who we were. We just listened to what we were told and we just fell into that and listened to what we were told and we just fell into it and we didn't push it. We didn't push the envelope, because we have been just so, just pushed about our culture and about who we were. I live down the street. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I live down the street from a fire department. But we were just pushed about our culture and who we were that we don't, that we didn't take the time to know who we were. I'm going to leave this link in the chat. We have just about 30 more minutes. So if anybody wants to come on and talk about any of these subjects that we've talked about today, then you are welcome to come on. Welcome to come on. Because it's time that we know who we are. The original Hawaiians were Black people, yes. The ruling class was Black people. And that's what I'm saying. It's time for us to reclaim who we are. And so through the power of Maat, we began to awaken. We began to awaken to the knowledge of who we are. We began to awaken to our own purpose and to our own destiny. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about purpose and we're going to be talking about destiny. I think I put this up. Thank you you're welcome, Jackie. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. So just be sure to email me because I want to send you a link to that class. Is this yeah, I want to send you a link to that class. Very good. All right. So Anja is coming on. I'm going to add her to the stream. I'm going to add her to the stream and let her come on and talk about some of the things we've been talking about. Welcome, Anja. You hearing me, sis? Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Huh. I can't get it out. Oh gosh, I'll figure out how to do that later. I was trying to get that out so we can have more screen, but it's not. I haven't quite figured that out. Hey, Anja, you in, or do you need to come back? She might need to come back in. Hey, Anja, you can come on in. Okay. I'm gonna remove you out and then let you come back in. I don't know if your thing is kind of messed up, but I'm gonna remove you out and let you come back in. And then you can. Oh, there it is. And then you come back in. You come right on back in, sis. Come on back in. And so let's see. See how that goes. Hey, Anja. Hello. How are you? All right, let's see. Maybe she'll come. Maybe she'll come in. All right, so back in. Hello. Okay. So technology, I tell you. So one of the things as we began to, look at this, we began to look at who we are, and we begin to look at our lives and the lives that we have, and begin to decide where, is this really what we want? Is this the way we really want to create, the life? You look at yourself, looking at how you're showing up in the world, looking at, what's going on in the world, and you begin to think, is this really what I want? How can I create more harmony? How can I create more balance? How can I create more love? And so then you begin to explore these principles of Maat, and then Anja, I just saw you just when I was clicking back to get you back in. You left, sweetie. But just so come on back in, Anja. I just missed you. I was just recapping. So come on back in. But as you begin to explore, harmony and balance, and all that, you begin to think, okay, well, how can I create more harmony and more balance in my life, right? How can I change and begin to allow justice and harmony and all of these other things to flow? So we're waiting. I'm just gonna come back in. Let's see, did she leave a thing? Oh, there she is. Okay, I'm gonna add you to the stream now. Hey, Anja, how are you? How are you? How are you doing, sweetie? It's gonna be one of these nights with YouTube, right? Okay. We're gonna try it again, Anja. Okay, we're gonna try it again. You're sorry. Yeah, no, it's just one of those nights, but let's just keep trying until we get it. I saw you a moment ago and you did pop up. I saw you sitting there like this. So I saw you come up. So it's just one of those things. It's just one of those nights. But I'm just gonna start, go back, and anybody else, this link is here. So if you want to come in, then please do. Please come in. Okay. Looks like you're in. Let's see. I don't see your camera on where your voice, but your A's up here, Anja. Okay. We'll try it. We'll try it again. Maybe you'll come in. I'll leave you up for a while and see if it see if you come in. Okay. So we have this thing, right? We're master role crafters and designers, right? And so we have this opportunity to create the life that we want and to bring more harmony, to bring more balance into our lives, right? Into our relationships, and to awaken this ability that's awaken this ability that is within us to have better relationships, to have better perception, to have more money and spirituality, and to govern our lives and order our minds in a way that is healthy and that is whole. We've been so trapped into this system. I see you coming in, Angela. I'm gonna try to pull you in. Hello. Hello. Nubian God Live says Africa is currently ruled by European American, by puppets. And so the day Africans take over and begin to understand this research by, Rashid's research, historical research, and Claude Anderson's Powernomics will be, when it will be in university curriculums across Africa. Absolutely. And when we really begin to, and really take on these principles of Kwanzaa. That's the other thing. Kwanzaa's coming near. Kwanzaa should be lived 365 days of the year. And so when we really start, and begin to live out our own African principles. Let's see if she's in. Hey, Anja. Then we can begin to live life on our own terms, and we can, be empowered again to do all that we're created to do. Last time I hear you clearly. Okay, let's see. Are you back in? I don't see your mic. That's why. Last time I hear you clearly. Oh, you're muted. So come back on. Hey, Anja. Hey, Anja.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
I had to come in. You always have these topics that are on fire.
Thank you.
So let me just tell you how I saw a documentary, and you just made me think of this documentary, especially when the brother asked his question from South Africa.
Let me write my notes, okay?
So the documentary was about a woman that lived at the bottom of the Appalachian Mountains in like a trailer park.
Mm-hmm.
But she looked white.
I saw that. Yes.
Okay, so what was so deep about that is that she always put Negro
on her,
or Black or African American on any application that she filled out. And she faced so much adversity because people were like, "Oh, you marked the wrong box." And she's like, "No, I didn't. I'm Black. I identify." They're like, you really shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that, Anja. I remember that documentary, and she not only got flack like from outside people, her own children were upset.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, because I lost you. Yeah. So the one daughter went and changed her birth certificate, and she just said the most ignorant thing. She said, I mean, just think about it. How could I be Black? Because when Black people are in the sun, they burn. I was like, don't she have her facts mixed up? It's just the opposite. The more melanin you have in your skin, the more protected you are against the sun. I think her self-esteem was just not in a good place, because for her to look white and then be trying to identify as Black, I think she faced so much adversity that she was just the opposite of her mom, and it just shows you that there's an inner strength that comes with that, with being identified as Black, being Black. So anyone who doesn't want to say they're Black, that's okay. You'll learn in good time.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line. So I just thought it was interesting that he asked that question. I just saw that documentary not too long ago, and then you were talking about Queen Maat. The thing about Queen Maat as well, 26 years ago when I was in Africa, I was in Senegal, and as soon as I came back, I had a Queen Maat bracelet made. I have to show you this bracelet when we have one of our lives, and we're on the topic. I will show you this bracelet that I had made, and I didn't even know why, and I started to just look into what it was about, and I realized at that time that was what we needed in our lives.
Yes.
That sense of balance. So your topics are on point, and I guess all things happen when they're supposed to, all in divine order.
All in divine order, all in divine time.
Yes. So
Yeah.
thank you. And I want to remind you to please get your workout on. I'm working out with Mr. London, 14 days free workout to get that stomach right for Africa. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Send me a link because I sure need to.
I will. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you. Free workouts. Look, who does not love free? That is awesome. Look, I'm just telling you. I'm so glad that Anja showed up. That was and was brave enough to come on in the stream. So anyone else, please, Nubian God lives. Please, hey, click on that link and come on in. I'm excited to kind of hear your opinions. Corey and Laquita Marie, come on in. I'm excited to hear your opinions and just kind of hear what you guys are thinking. Global Green Book, everyone just excited to really hear what you are thinking. And because we are so incredibly powerful, we are so powerful, and we were the descendants of rulers and conquerors. And sometimes we forget that. We forget the historical research. We forget our historical perspective of who we are because we get so trapped into that we were, slave, we were enslaved and all of those things. But when Kellyanne said that, who is, advisor to our current president, when she said that, I thought to myself, wait a minute. She said, Black folks just need to get over it because they lost the war. It is what it is. And so she's looking at it like they lost a war. We're looking at it like we were, as a people, enslaved. It's two different dynamics of how to look at that. And so she called us, instead of calling us, slaves like we've been calling ourselves and like we've been reading in the storybooks, she called us war prisoners. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Well, let me think about wait a minute. That puts a whole nother perspective. That means at some time and at some point in the past, you were powerful and you were a great nation, right? Even though you may be here right now where you are. And so what's really out of balance and out of order is our whole perspective and understanding of who we are. We have allowed other things to shape our perspective and our mind and our ideas and our ideologies about who we are. And so we have this low self-esteem. And so all of the things that have been done, right, whether it's apartheid or all of these Jim Crow laws, all those things have been put in place to take away and to strip and to really oppress us and take away our self-esteem, to have us damaged. And then when you see all of our rulers and our rulers, but our leaders, Nkrumah, all these things, King, Dr. King, all these people, you see them, Malcolm X, you see what happens to them, then that's just a further hit to our self-esteem, a further hit on this perspective of who we are. And so we can't see. But then, don't you think it's interesting that Dr. King was so intelligent and so wise? And don't you think it's interesting that Malcolm X was so intelligent and so wise? And so when you start to look at that, then it becomes harder and more difficult not to have this balanced view of ourselves that we somehow come from greatness. If those people were great and intellectual and talented and smart and innovative, then is not Africa also talented and smart, innovative, and are not our ancestors also talented and smart and innovative? You come from a powerful people. right? You have a man, Dr. King, and everyone who stood with him, and they're able to overturn a whole system with nonviolence, with not one bullet shot. Hear me? That's wisdom, right? And yes, he went to India to find it, but that's like going back to yourself, because we already know that Buddha with the right, the knots, we already know that's African, right? And so, when people say, "Oh, well, we don't want to get into these Indian principles," you're going back to your own principles of yourself. We were conquerors and we were rulers. Mansa Musa left the shores of Africa, right? He left his empire to go and to conquer the world, to go and to find new worlds and new lands and new opportunities. Now, he never made it back. But who's to say? Who's to say what he established and what he set up or what he encountered? And that's what we have to keep in mind over and over again, whether it's in, whether it's in Hawaii or wherever it may be, we showed up. We were there. And so, not to diminish the power of our ancestors, not to diminish who we were, not to diminish all of the contributions to society throughout the world that they have made. And sometimes we do that because we just stop. We just stop researching. We just stop. And we don't know. And it's time. It's time to reclaim that. It's time to get more balance and to honor ourselves and to honor who we are. Because we're out of balance. We're out of balance, even in our divine femininity. We're out of balance in our divine masculinity. Masculinity has to mean more than just submission and having women submit to us and having 5 wives. And it has to mean more than just having children everywhere in procreating. It has to mean more than that. And so this is why this call exists for Africans to come back to themselves, for Africans to wake up and to come back to the truth of who you are, for you to arise and to return and to come back and awaken to who you are. It's time to create and craft this life of Maat, this life of harmony and balance and love. It's time to craft the life that you desire and to not be just taken by the whims of everything, right, that's happening around us and everything that has happened to us. Our history began before slavery, way before slavery. It began before 500 years ago. It began a long time ago, but we're lost and very lost because we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. We don't know who we were. We still speak of Africa as it's over there somewhere, not understanding and not realizing that Africa is in us. Not understanding and not realizing that our people were so powerful and so wise and so ingenious that they built ships and that they came here and that they were here. We're already here. We're already here. And that's what we need to wake up to. That's what we need to understand. We need to understand the power of who we are. Because a lot of times we define ourselves, and I loved how Laquita Marie, how she talked about this earlier, right? Earlier about the different religions. Sometimes we define ourselves by our conquerors' religions, and we don't even realize it. So we define ourselves by either Christianity. We even define ourselves by, by one of the 3 Abrahamic religions. So we'll define ourselves by those things. And we, in our African soul, will be so connected to those things and those principles, right, of what they're teaching, that we lose sight of who we are, that we lose sight of our true African culture and our true African nature. We want to bring into ourselves our conqueror's religion or our conqueror's ideology. If you're still here, Nubian God lives, if you send me an email, I do have one more ticket left. And so if you'd like to attend the class tomorrow, you are also a winner. I forgot to tell you, I went through. You can also come to the class tomorrow. My email is scrolling across, myrepatjourney@gmail.com. So you can just myrepatjourney@gmail.com. Just send me an email and say, hi, this is tell me who you are. Tell me this is Nubian God Lives, and I will send you out the link, Nubian God Lives, to be able to come to our class tomorrow. Yes, as Milton is saying, congrats to all of the winners. So all the winners, Anja, Nubian God Lives, Jackie C, Blind Guy, his wife and their life, Corey and Laquita, you all email me, and Global Green Book, be sure to email me about your tickets so I can make sure that you get your tickets. I see Jackie C. Because we have two amazing donors who are buying, who bought a lot of tickets. And that is going to allow you all to have free tickets. So I'm excited. Yeah. I am excited. I'm excited. Y'all are so amazing. I'm excited. Yes, Anja Africa says our nonviolent leaders were killed violently. Unfortunately, violence is a natural basic instinct. Sad, right? Their wisdom, they were too powerful and too wise. And didn't have, too powerful and too wise and did not have a gun in sight, but yet they were feared, right? They were feared, and their power was feared. All of that, their power was feared. And so we come from powerful people, very powerful people. And it's just time that we understand our our power, and that we understand who we are. That we truly understand who we are. I'm going to show you this picture of, hopefully it'll share my screen. Let's see. Share this picture of the class tomorrow. Let's see if I can share it so you can see it. Application window, Chrome, no, application window. Let's see. Preview. It's not sharing it. Chrome. Let's see. See if it shows. Let me put it up. Let's see. Okay, it's not sharing it. Oh well. Let's see. I'm gonna go here and see, because this class is tomorrow, and you all can be a member of that class. Oh, it's not there either. What is going on tonight with the information with the YouTube? Oh, there it is. I don't know what's going on today with this with technology, boy. I'm telling you, tonight we're almost done, guys. So let's see. Get it over to this class so y'all can see it. Let me see this class. It's coming up. I hope you all are having a good night tonight. I enjoyed all of you, and I'm just so grateful that you all came today. And so here is this class, if it's going to come up.
Cuckoo is the cloud-based diagram maker.
Of course, it'll come over sound. But yeah. So, but our class is tomorrow, and I am going to make sure that I send this out to everybody so you all can come. Let's see. He says, ma'am, God is really God is really on our side, because despite all the viruses, despite everything that's going on, we're still growing in strength and numbers, and that baffles our enemies. Absolutely. Our legacy lives on, and we cannot be stopped. No matter what, we cannot be stopped, and nothing can stop us. No matter what happens, nothing can stop us. And so here it is. So this is just a little bit of this class, because I'm not gonna bore you guys. I'm not gonna keep you guys too long, but here it is. So here's this class, guys.
On Saturday, the 20th.
So here we are.
Hi guys, it's SYNOLVE. How you guys doing? I sure hope you are doing well. I'm doing well, and I'm having an amazing day. And so I'm so excited because I'm coming to you to talk about something really amazing. On Saturday, the 28th at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm going to be hosting my very first class, and I'm so excited. And so the name of the class is Manifesting Your Destiny. What do the ancestors want to manifest through you?
Okay, so that is the name of the class, and that is what we'll be doing tomorrow. So please make sure that you set your you set your alarm, and that you email me so I can send you a link to the class. And so if you want to watch the whole video, I have just put it in so you all can see that there. All right, guys, we're going. We've been on for a good 2 hours, and we spent some quality time together. And so I'm just really happy about the class tomorrow at 1. Really excited about all the things we're learning together, and really excited about, as I see all of the amazing things that you're doing. We're working on market tomorrow. Hope I can make it to the session. It starts at 1 p.m. Central, right? It does start at 1 p.m. Central, but if you cannot for some reason make it at that time, I am just going to send you the link, and you can watch the replay. So so it'll be recorded, it'll be up, and you can just watch the replay. So if you can't come at that particular time, don't worry about it. You still can, your ticket's paid for, and you can just watch it at any time. So that would be awesome. Thank you so much, Milton. I appreciate you. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. Hope you enjoyed this. Talking about ordering our lives, talking about crafting and creating the life that we desire. Because that is, bringing more balance, bringing more peace and love and order into our lives and harmony. All right, this is the season for that, and recognizing our royalty and knowing who we are. All right, guys, I love you so much. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for Anja for coming on. Thank you for the questions, and for you. For everyone, go out and support each other, go out and love each other. Thank you, Nubian God Lives. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, Jackie C. Thank you, Blind Guy, his wife, and their life. Thank you so much to Anja. There she is. Where is Anja? There you are. Thank you, Anja Africa. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. To everyone who dropped in, those of you stayed, couldn't stay, thank you so much. Mr. Hillary was here. There you are, the Happy Companion, Benson, everyone. Just thank you so much. Let's see, Global Green Book. She's down here as well. Probably passed her name like 5 times because I'm looking for it, she can't find it. But anyway, she knows I love her. So thank you, Global Green Book, for being here. I appreciate you so much. All right. There you are. One love. All right, guys. Have an amazing day. No matter how much I love you, and as always, you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are wonderful. You are precious and you are loved. You have everything you need inside of you to do all that you need to do. You are blessed, right? You're powerful. You're infinite and you're wise. You know why? Honey, baby, because you just are. And I'm going to see you in another video real soon. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you to each of you for being here. I appreciate you so much. We always have these amazing discussions, and I love you so much. All right, guys, love you. Have a wonderful night, and be blessed with the spirit of Maat, harmony, peace, love, justice in your life. All right, bye-bye, guys.